Deciding what to carry can be a tedious decision, especially if you own more than one. But it can also be the most important decision you make, as it may mean the difference between life and death in an emergency. We'll be judging a gun's carry compatibility based on a few important factors such as reliability, size, weight, accuracy, and ease of use in a pinch. So, if you're carrying for self-defense or on duty, these are the top 5 worst guns you can carry. This is Colonel Trigger, and let's get into it! Number 5. Arsenal Firearms 2011 A1. At number 5, we have maybe the most exotic handgun out there, the Arsenal Firearms 2011 A1. It is basically an unholy amalgamation of two M1911s. This handgun looks like the result of a fever dream of some poor designer at Arsenal Firearms. It's essentially two M1911s merged into a single pistol. While it looks like an exotic collector's item, this is in no way a practical gun. It's considerably heavy. I mean, it should be. It's basically two guns combined into one. The frame is bulky, and it's awkward to manage in tight spaces. While the double-barrel design of the AF 2011 A1 packs a punch, this is not something anyone would really need during a typical gunfight. Another thing that comes with a double-barrel design such as this is the mechanical complexity of the firing system. This makes this gun more prone to jamming or misalignment issues. That's not ideal during a gunfight. The AF 2011 A1 also has a very complex recoil mechanism, with double barrels firing at the same time, so it is bound to happen. This makes it really hard to control, especially for follow-up shots. So, any semblance of accurate firing is down the drain. While it is a fascinating firearm and has that X factor, it is not a practical handgun for daily use. The Arsenal Firearms 2011 A1 belongs in a museum, not your holster. Number 4. Smith & Wesson Model 500. At number 4 is the iconic Smith & Wesson Model 500, which is probably one of the most powerful guns in the world, and is definitely the most powerful production revolver in the world, chambering the heavy 500 caliber Magnum round. This is a heavy-duty revolver that means business. This is quite literally a bear killer, and it was designed with big game hunting in mind. While this beast may have some uses in niche activities or something to show off to your friends, this revolver has no place in your holster. The 500 caliber Magnum round is incredibly powerful. It has to be to take down a bear, and it goes above and beyond what you need in normal situations. Shooting this at an intruder means you shot through the person, your newly completed drywall, and probably the engine block of your car that is parked in the garage. No one needs this kind of firepower while carrying. Other issues with the Model 500 as a carry gun are just the result of firing, such as a large caliber. The recoil is insane. Good luck trying to line up follow-up shots quickly. The Model 500 is also heavy and bulky. To accommodate such a large round, it has to have a pretty long barrel, which makes it impractical to carry around for daily use. In terms of capacity, you're looking at 5 rounds in the cylinder, which puts you at a severe disadvantage against most high-capacity handguns. The fact that Model 500 creates pretty excessive sound upon firing and has a pretty bright flash, both things work against you, and it can be very disorienting as an experience firing this cannon in close spaces. While the Model 500 is reliable and has good build quality, does best for what it is designed for, hunting big game or just popping a few Magnum rounds through watermelons at the range, but it is one of the worst choices to carry as your daily driver. Number 3. Raven Arms MP25. The gun we have at number 3 has all the opposite problems of the Model 500. We are, of course, talking about the Raven Arms MP25. It is compact, it is cheap, and it has an abysmal stopping power. But because of the MP25 is relatively easy to get a hold of and cheap, it can look pretty attractive to someone looking for a cheap carry and doesn't know much about guns. The MP25 has been in production since the 70s, and it was made with the express purpose of providing a cheap firearm to the general public. So, while it is cheap, it is known to have very low build quality and have several reliability issues. Chambering the .25 caliber ACP round, the MP25 has very limited stopping power, and it doesn't have the necessary bang to stop an assailant if needed in a pinch, especially if that assailant is wearing any heavy clothing or any form of protection, which makes it a poor choice for a handgun by itself. But it doesn't stop there. The MP25 is known for its frequent jamming and malfunctions. Common issues with the MP25 include feeding issues and failure to extract. Such frequent malfunctions can be fatal for someone in a self-defense situation where you need to perform consistently. You can't expect to win a firefight if your gun is busy jamming and not shooting. And due to its old and basic design, the MP25 is a pretty unsafe gun to carry, as it is known to accidentally discharge on hard impact, and this creates another safety hazard for the person carrying this mess. So, while it may look like a good option for someone on a budget, and God knows people do love it when they're on a budget, it's probably a good idea to save some more money and get something decent. Number 2. Taurus PT22. At number 2, we have a Taurus. While Taurus is known for decent revolvers, that doesn't mean they can't create a bad handgun. But the PT22 is a prime example of Taurus missing the mark. Chambering the .22 caliber LR round, the PT22 is a pocket-sized semi-automatic pistol designed with affordability and concealment in mind. This gun has so many cons, I don't know where to start. Okay, so let's start with the build quality. Well, Tauruses aren't known for their quality assurance. The same is the case with the PT22, as it comes with varying qualities, and some models perform better than others. So it's pretty much buying the PT22 and hoping to get a decent quality piece. Users have reported parts breakages, inconsistent performance, and the gun losing its durability over time. Not things you would want in a daily carry. Regarding jamming and malfunctioning, the PT22 takes the cake here as well, as it had become pretty notorious in gun circles for its frequent issues with operations, such as feeding and extraction, something you shouldn't have to worry about in a gunfight. Another grave issue with the PT22 is its heavy trigger. It can be really difficult to manage such a heavy trigger with such a small factor handgun, and this may affect your accuracy with the gun if it hasn't jammed by that point. The 2.3-inch barrel really doesn't help with the accuracy either. Combine that with the rough trigger, accuracy is pretty much non-existent with this thing. So, beyond very short distances, shot placement can be pretty much impossible. No point carrying something if you can't hit the broadside of the barn while standing next to said barn. Number 1. Derringers. At number 1, we don't have an exact model or handgun, but rather a category of handguns that may be popular among the uninitiated gun owners. We're of course talking about the Derringers. They are a type of small, concealable pocket pistol known for their simplicity and compact design. Derringers can trace their history back to the 19th century, when they were commonly single-shot close-range weapons. Over the years, they have evolved to include multi-barrel designs, including typically with 2 barrels stacked vertically or side by side. Their small size means they look very attractive to people looking for something small to carry around with them, but they have no place in the modern world. The main limitation is the low capacity of Derringers, as most models are designed to hold 1 or 2 rounds. This makes them pretty much impractical for almost any type of situation where you might need a gun fast. Now compound that with the fact that they are equally hard to reload as compared to magazine-fed semi-automatic weapons, and you're basically carrying a very expensive toy. By design, Derringers have very short barrels and minimal to no sights, so accuracy is out of the question beyond a few meters. They are designed for point-blank engagements, and those aren't very common these days. Due to their small design, Derringers offer very little grip, which makes them almost impossible to control and very uncomfortable to use. Derringers are the product of a bygone era. This design of handguns had its uses in the past, but in the current landscape, they offer very little. They still have use as a deep concealment firearm or something women can carry inside a small purse. But for anyone looking to pack a serious handgun, Derringers are a joke. Deciding what to carry can be one of the most detrimental decisions you make as far as guns go. Choosing the wrong gun can mean the difference between walking away from a firefight alive or ending up in a casket. So, make sure you don't choose any of the guns in this list.